Hi, I'm Bob Helsel from the IVI Foundation. Welcome to the IVI Getting Started Guide videos. Our purpose is to provide you with an easy tutorial on using IVI drivers in the development environment of your choice. After a brief introduction, a technical expert will show you how to use drivers with your ADE. First, I'd like to go over a few key benefits in using IVI drivers. They will save you time in your program development. Number one is interchangeability. IVI drivers enable the exchange of instruments in your system with minimal code changes, reducing time and effort. Two, ease of use. You can use your favorite ADE such as Visual Basic, Visual C++, LabVIEW, LabWindows, MATLAB, or V. The standard APIs provide fast, intuitive access to functions. Three is quality. You'll have common commands and desirable options. The Foundation's rigorous testing ensures driver quality. Four is simulation. Simulation allows code development and testing even when an instrument is unavailable. We'll be taking advantage of the IVI simulation feature as not all viewers will have this hardware available. Fifth is performance and reliability. Examples of these are capabilities such as range checking and state caching. These are some of the key features of IVI drivers that will cut your program development time. In order to follow along with this tutorial, you'll first need to download and install an IVI driver. There are two ways to do that. You can go to the driver registry page on the IVI website, or you can go to the instrument vendor's website. Find the 34401A driver, download and install it before taking the tutorial. Now let's go to the product expert for your ADE.
Hello, and welcome to the IVI Getting Started with Visual C++. My name is Deborah Homan with Agilent Technologies, and today I'll walk you through some simple examples to show you how easy it is to use IVI-C and IVI-COM drivers within Visual C++. The minimum software required is listed here, and you can download all of this software before you get started and then follow along. I'll walk you through the same example that you'll see in the Getting Started guides on the IVI Foundation website. The first thing you'll want to do is create a new project and import the driver type libraries. So I'm starting a new project here in Visual C++. The program already includes some required code, including standard header file. Make sure you leave that code in. And next, we'll go in and expand configuration properties and click on the VC++ directories. And we'll add two entries to the path here. Again, you'll see this more in detail in the Getting Started guide. I'll go through this pretty quickly. I'm using a 64-bit Windows machine, so those are the entries that I'm entering in. We'll click OK to save, and now we can use the information from those files in the program itself. Next thing I'll do is import the COM type libraries. So I'm importing these, again moving rather quickly through the programming here, just to show you how things will look as you go through and type in the various pieces that you'll need to include in your C++ program. The next thing I'm doing is initializing the COM library and checking for errors. You can see the code that I'm entering in here, and then I'll close the COM library before exiting. So make sure you add the co-uninitialized statement in your code. In between this, what I'll do next is create an instance of the driver. So I'm creating a smart pointer that provides easy access to the COM object. Once I have these pieces of structure in place, I'll be ready to write the actual program to control the instrument. For purposes of this example, we're using the Agilent 34401 DMM, and I'll be initializing it using this particular driver in simulation mode. I do not have an instrument here at my desk, but I can set up all of the commands, and as you'll see here, set simulate to true. And that way I can again generate the code, put it into my program, and make sure I've got everything configured before I put an actual instrument and connect that to my computer. You can also see here that IntelliSense is displaying options and making sure I use the correct syntax and values as I'm configuring the instrument. So I've configured the voltage. I'm setting up the trigger delay to 0.01 seconds. I'll set the reading timeout and display the reading. And again, all of this code is easy to type in once you've got the Getting Started guide in front of you. You can just follow right along and put the structure in place, use these commands, and integrate an IVI driver into your program. The next thing I'm doing here is some additional error checking. So I've added the try block and then the catch, the COM errors at the end. And then I can print out an error message if I do have an error in my program. And then finally, once I've done all this, the next thing I'll do is very important, and that's to close the session. This closes out the instance of the driver and frees resources. So I'm adding the DMM close command. I'll want to view the results. And now I'm ready to build and run the application. Everything's green, all of the syntax is correct. The next thing I'll do is run the program that we just wrote. I'll get the screen up, press any key to exit. So that's how easy it is to incorporate a driver, an IVI COM driver. I'll go through again very quickly some of the differences if you're using an IVI-C driver. We're still using the same DMM, but we have a number of new directories and files to include to make sure we can use them in our program. This second entry point will point to the correct VISA directory. And that's regardless of using 32 or 64-bit systems. I'll then need to do, again, a little bit more work for my IVI-C driver and expanding the linker in the tree view, locating the additional dependencies, and adding the following library file to the list for the AG34401.lib. I'll click OK. And now I've included all of the files and directories that I need. And I can continue on. This basically shows some of the differences in the program when you're using an IVI-C driver. So I've still done some of the same things, including the driver header, declaring variables, defining error checking, initializing the instrument, etc. But you can see again the code of course looks different as I'm using a different type of driver. More details again can be found in the IVI Getting Started guide for Visual C++. You can go through a little bit more slowly in more detail. Thank you for watching this Getting Started with Drivers tutorial. For additional information including installing drivers and the advanced features of IVI drivers, please go to the IVIFoundation.org website. You can also learn more about Microsoft Visual Studio and Visual C++ at the Microsoft website listed here. I hope you found this useful and you now see how easy it is to incorporate IVI drivers into your Microsoft programs. Thank you for your time.